Every time I think there's something evil or negative in the world, which there is always something to counter it. It is the yin and it is the yang. And in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the good when it comes to what is happening with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake, because it seems like Nintendo is gearing up for something to be announced. And anytime that I can start a video with that type of intro, you know there's been something. Like, for an example, a developer that was going to do a mobile gacha game and somehow went to sleep, woke up, and decided to get some sense into them and said, you know what, we're not going to do that. We're going to make a full, complete game that's normal to where you can play, unlock characters, weapons, armor, magic, and play through the game. And you know what, we think that it'd be good if Nintendo Switch 2 players also played this, because we know there is an audience for these type of games. So in today's video, we're going to break down those two things. It is a positive deal that is happening, and I'm very excited to get into it because we do have quite a bit of Nintendo Switch 2 updates to go over. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. Starting out with The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has got an official rating by the ESRB. The rating is everyone 10 plus, animated blood, fantasy violence. Now, just for comparison, shoutouts to Genki for this one here. The OG Ocarina of Time on the N64 was rated E. Ocarina of Time 3 was rated E10. Pretty much the same when it comes to it. I guess E is something to where people under 10 can play, and everybody. Then E10, you have to be 10 years old at least. So that's pretty much everybody, because most families aren't going to look at it and say, oh, E10 plus, and then say someone's like 8 years old, like, nah, you can't play. You can't play Ocarina of Time, you're 8. ESRB rating, what does that mean? Well, it means that the game is feature and content complete. Everything that's in the game that they've added in, the changes, the differences, the characters, the dialogue, everything for this remake is included and has been presented to the ESRB to rate the game, to where they can look and see, okay, this is the official what's in the game, and we have to give it a rating. Remember, this started back in the early 90s, early mid 90s, the Mortal Kombat situation, to where the government was going to get involved because of the violence of Mortal Kombat and how they felt that it was being promoted to kids and it's bad. So they need to create something to take care of the problem, to where kids just weren't marketed games and parents didn't know about the violence in the games. So then the ESRB was created. So you have to know everything about the game before the rating goes in, and that means the game has to be, once again, more done than not. So it looks like Nintendo's probably preparing for something big coming up here. August, they just detailed the lineup, a lot of great games: Lies of P, Metal Gear Solid, Elden Ring, Pocopia DLC, and more. Final Fantasy XIV, that's also charting very high on the Switch 2 eShop charts with pre-sales right now at this point. So I do think that they're going to go through August. We'll see if something happens in August. I'm not sure if that's going to be there, but for sure September, there's going to be something. Whether that's a 40th anniversary Legend of Zelda Direct, and they have the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time in there, whether that's just an Ocarina of Time Direct or a brand new big trailer or overview trailer or something, whether that's a actual big Nintendo Direct itself with more information on The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake, or simply a 40th anniversary shoved into the Nintendo Direct, like I've talked about many times before, and like they did with Mario last year for the 40th anniversary. There's definitely something happening, and it looks like the motion, everything is set in place. Now, we also have this information, some data that shows that the top 20 most anticipated games in 2026, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is right there at the top. So analytics company Level Up has shared stats with the game business, which reveal the top 20 most anticipated games of 2026, with the new Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake for the Switch 2 topping the charts. Level Up's data is for the best performing trailers this year, the games generating the most video views, and the titles that the press are writing about the most. Based on 2026 results, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has the most trailer views at 152 million. It also has the most amount of articles by far at over 17,000. And I'm looking through this list and it shows that Grand Theft Auto, where is that at? Because I'm looking through and I don't see it. The top of the list here, it shows that it has Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake. Then you have Marvel's Wolverine, Call of Duty, Marvel Tokan. And you have Nintendo Switch Sports Resort, Star Wars Galactic Racer, Beast of Reincarnation. I mean, I see a lot of games here, but obviously Grand Theft Auto should be on this list. So I don't know what's going on with their analytics. But either way, the whole point is this. People are excited about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Remake. People are going to be picking up this game. Some people felt that, wait a minute, would Ocarina get buried because of Grand Theft Auto? You would think that maybe. But I don't think so, because one, GTA 6 is not on the Nintendo Switch 2, and Nintendo Switch 2 players still want something to play. Number two, GTA 6 doesn't have a physical copy, so if you're a physical gamer or like physical games, obviously Ocarina of Time will have that. But also, like, another thing, like, you can play both. I think there's a lot of people that are like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to play GTA, and I'm going to play Ocarina of Time, but obviously GTA is going to dominate sales. I mean, that's not a question. Like, it's tracking to be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, not even one of the biggest. It's probably going to be the biggest launch ever for a video game. It's going to be a massive launch, but I still want to play Ocarina of Time because Ocarina of Time is incredible and we need more than just GTA. Now, a lot of publishers are moving out of the November time slot. A lot of them push their games to September or October to get as far away as GTA as humanly possible, and I don't blame them. But if there's one game that can actually stand up and be good enough and sell enough and have enough clout to sell in November, it would be Ocarina of Time. Considering the legacy of the game, one of the best games of all time, the modern innovator of Z targeting system, there's a reason why Nintendo's going to hold steady, and they had to bring this type of heat for the end of the year. So I do believe that they are not moving anywhere with that. And yes, people are going to be buying Ocarina of Time like crazy. But speaking of crazy, developers getting some sense into them and removing gacha elements and mobile style game elements out of a game to sell when it comes down to it. Yes, this is happening and I love it. I love when this happens. DragonSword Awakening is coming to the Nintendo Switch 2, it seems. Now, there's no specified platform for some reason at this point, but I'm pretty sure it's the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, according to the latest reports, writes Nintendo Everything, Hound 13 has confirmed a port of DragonSword Awakening to an unspecified Nintendo console, which is probably the Nintendo Switch 2. This follows the title surpassing 200,000 units in sales on PC after releasing on the platform only about a week ago. So there's more information on this game, but this is essentially an anime-style open-world multi-combat type of game. RPG elements, living, breathing open world, reliable adventure companions. Every day is an adventure, a bunch of new stories and content and side quests to explore, status elements, signal skills, all sorts of stuff. So it's essentially that big open world RPG that you can see a lot, almost kind of like Genshin Impact. It reminds me of Genshin Impact, but it seems to not have all the gacha elements and nonsense once again. Now, I went over to the official trailer on the Indie Games Hub. This trailer racked up over 175,000 views, and in the comment section, Mini Mistakes says this about the game. DragonSword Awakening is an anime-style, single-player, buy-to-play, open-world action RPG for PC, developed by Hound 13, that was originally planned as a live service gacha game, but was repurposed into a complete offline experience with all content unlocked via a single purchase. It's not a gacha game. Thank you. So yeah, I thank you for this when it comes down to it. I thank them for saying, okay, this is what we need to do. We need to make sure that we make a complete game. That's what I did not like about a lot of the stuff like we see when it comes to Genshin Impact, or we see when it comes to these mobile games. I just don't want to play them. they're fine and they're great and they control well and everything's awesome in the game, but the gacha elements completely break the flow. They break the stride. It just gets me to not want to play the game anymore. And that's the reason why I don't play gacha games. So the fact now that this is going to be on the Nintendo Switch 2 and it's not going to have those gacha elements and all that nonsense, it makes me far more willing to want to play it over a game like Genshin Impact, which I've had Genshin Impact for a while now. And I've played it like a few times and just decided, you know what, I'm good on like the orbs and the like whatever, the time and all that type of stuff, like the drop rates and all that. I'd rather just get a normal game. So I'm super happy the developers got some sense into them. And don't get me wrong, I get why gacha games are a thing. I get why people do them. They make a ton of money. Genshin Impact makes a ton of money. They've had a lot of success in that realm, especially like with the anime style open world action RPG. There's a lot of success in there, and I get that. But I do want to see more developers saying, okay, we can also make the regular type of game too and sell it for a price. And then if you want to do DLC or extra stuff there, you can. But it's cool. But this game looks great. I love the details so far. I love the combat. The action looks really awesome. A bit generic, but there's absolutely some sauce when it comes to this gameplay. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how it plays out on the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think that it's also coming to PlayStation as well. So awesome there. Now let's get into one more thing here, which I'll probably have a bigger video detailing what's happening here with Splatoon Raiders. But Splatoon Raiders was the #1 game sold in Japan for the past week with a massive 474,684 units moved, not including digital. Now, the Nintendo Switch 2 was the #1 system sold with over 50,168 units sold. Great launch for Splatoon Raiders and nice Switch 2 sales bump. So that's obviously great when it comes to Splatoon Raiders. It's doing really good. Got a nice bump when it comes to the Switch 2 in Japan, and it shows that physical is still alive and well. It's still alive and well, and people are still going out there and buying games physical. 474,000 units plus. There was also some new milestones too when it comes to it. Mario Kart World has done over 3 million units lifetime today in Japan. Rhythm Heaven Groove crossed 674,000 units with another 78,000 units there. Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream, crossed 1.5 million units after selling 23,000 units plus. So Splatoon Raiders is helping boost other games, helping boost Switch 2 sales, and it had a huge launch. So physical needs to be here. Splatoon Raiders is doing great. I've talked about this game at length. I had a video discussing how it can't win. So if you haven't seen that video, check it out. But I will have a bigger video detailing what happened with Splatoon Raiders, probably. We'll see. I got some other stuff that I want to talk about when it comes to Xenoblade, but I'll probably have another one detailing that because it was actually one of the biggest launches ever for the Nintendo Switch 2. Huge launch for this game, 474,000 units, and I expect Splatoon Raiders to have a long tail life. I don't think there's going to be a Splatoon Raiders 2 anytime soon, so I think that this game is going to continue to sell as more and more people pick up a Nintendo Switch 2, and the revitalization of the sales in Japan after the drop from the price increase, because so many people rushed out and bought the system beforehand, definitely dropped down after the price increase, but now I'm probably going to up the median average because of Splatoon Raiders. It has that type of pull, and I think that it's going to take it through the summer here till Fire Emblem Fortunes Weave drops. People are going to be excited and pick that one up. That's always a big seller in Japan. Then, of course, Nintendo Switch Sports Resort. That should do well. And the big one, Ocarina of Time Remake on the Switch 2. So I think that they have a pretty solid plan when it comes to what is happening here. And Splatoon Raiders is doing great. So what do you guys think when it comes to Splatoon Raiders, the sales, what's going on here with Ocarina of Time, and DragonSword Awakening, ditching the gacha elements? I like what I'm hearing here. So what do you guys think about everything? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.